Get ready for news and views from Lubbock, Texas, USA. What's going on and real talk with people who move and do things. This is the Focus LBK Show with your host, Robert Jenkins.
Hey, what's good, LBK? This is Robert Jenkins coming to you with, oh my God, is this episode, what is it, about 127, I believe? Episode 127 of the Focus LBK Show. As you can see, we are in studio today. We have two very special guests, including my friend Lisa Sheek, who is the Director of Community Outreach and Family Liaison up at the Condra School. Y'all know where that's at, downtown over here. I think it's on 9th Street. It's a school for dyslexia success, and that's, of course, what we'll be talking about today. We're also joined by Adam Canales, who is the lead store marketer for Aspen Grill. I think y'all located over there on West End, right?
Yes, right there on the West Loop next to Costco.
Indeed. I haven't been over there yet, but I intend to go because if y'all came out in November, the Condra School had a Heart for the Holidays, I think it was called.
Yes.
Event that we covered. And man, it was just a real good thing where they were handing out food and supplies for the holidays and other needful things. And we covered that. It was a real good time. But they were, Aspen Creek was out on the grill. And boy, I tell you what, we took some lunch back to the studio to my coworkers. And all you heard was smacking sounds and quiet. Nobody was talking. So that's how you know it's some good stuff.
Yeah.
Welcome both of y'all to the Focus LBK Show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Oh, sure. My pleasure. My pleasure. So I guess we'll just launch right into it. Lisa, can you first talk to us about how you guys founded the Condra School, and what is the founder's name?
Miranda Condra.
Miranda Condra?
Yes.
Right.
Miranda.
So I spoke with her as well. Talk to us a little bit about how she founded that school. I think it was named after her mother, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Originally it was the Betty M. Condra School, and now it's the Condra School for Dyslexia Success. Miranda adopted a daughter who was dyslexic, and she was looking for services, and they were hard to find. And so she decided, she was an attorney and she had the means to find those services for her daughter, which now she's in college in Denver doing great.
Oh, wow.
But she thought, what about the other people? What about the people that, don't have the means to find these services? And so for many years, and her mom was an educator, they worked on starting this school for dyslexia. And that's how it started. And so for the last 7 years, we've worked really, really hard trying to educate the community about what dyslexia looks like and providing services at no cost for their children, and, providing them with the services that they need to read and be successful.
So you said something that was somewhat surprising to me. It's no cost. The services are provided at no cost. And now it all starts to become clear why we've got the golf tournament coming up in March. It's a fundraiser.
Absolutely. We are a non-for-profit 501c3, so we don't get the same funding as the larger school districts do. So we rely a lot on fundraisers and donations in order to be able to provide our students with the services that we have.
I see. I'm still curious. Dyslexia is one of those things where you know what it means, but you don't know much about it.
Right.
So can you talk to us about if you, whatever your understanding is of the causes of dyslexia, how do you guys diagnose it, and then get into what kind of strategies do you guys use at Condra to teach those students?
Absolutely. Well, it's a neurodevelopmental difference, which is the meaning is how the brain develops differently in areas that involve reading and language processing. So that's kind of what it looks like. It runs in families. So many times if the parents are dyslexic, the children will be dyslexic also. So sometimes we do mini screenings, and if, you check a certain amount of boxes, then we know that we should do full testing. But we do have a licensed diagnostician on our staff, and when children come in, we're able to test right there at the school.
So what is the catalyst usually for testing? In other words, like how does a student usually or a parent usually become aware of the fact that something is amiss?
So, if your child is having a challenge reading, decoding words, things like that, then, many times they'll come to us and say, hey, they're just not reading. And then we do the Todd test, and we see, okay, hey, it looks like they check these boxes. Then we need to do full testing. And then we do. And once we do, we have fantabulous dyslexic therapists on our staff. Mm-hmm. They are the best. And they start their dyslexic therapy.
Is there another school for dyslexia, or I have a feeling y'all are the only one in the region?
And we are the only one that I know of in this area, and we were the first school of its kind in the state of Texas.
LBK, just a note there. People always talk down on Lubbock. I hear people saying there's nothing to do in this, that, and the other. We got the first of its kind school in the region, probably. We're the hub city. There are things to do here.
Yeah,
there's plenty of resources.
Yeah, we were trailblazing the way, and a lot of people don't realize, but about 20% of people are dyslexic, so about 1 in 5 people. So you think about the population of children that have not been diagnosed, and everything you're doing up till 4th grade, you're learning to read.
Right.
And after 4th grade, you're reading to learn. So the percentage of people that drop out of school because they haven't been diagnosed and they're frustrated and they can't read is high. So we're trying so hard to get the education out there to people to understand what it looks like, and that we're here and we can help and we can provide all those services to help your child be successful.
What do some of those services look like? How do people, if you suspect your child might have dyslexia, what do you do? How do you proceed from there?
So if you're in Lubbock, please reach out, look up our website, give us a call, come in, let's sit down, let's have that conversation. And, we are very happy to, if your child comes to our school, test your child and start getting them those services that they need. And like I said, we have professional dyslexic therapists, we have a diagnostician on staff, and none of those things cost you any money. So please come in and let's sit down and let's have that conversation and help your child be successful.
That sounds amazing, and I'm just I'm actually kind of blown away that you do all this free.
We do all this for free, and also we have a free after school program that goes until 5:30. So if your child attends our school, they can come to that program. They get extra academics. They get a dinner and some fun time as well. And then in the summer, we have a free 5-week summer camp where they get more academics and fun enrichment.
Can we go a little bit into some of the strategies, the learning strategies for students with dyslexia, Lisa?
So, the learning strategies, a lot of what we do is we work in small groups. We have small group instruction, and then depending on what their IEP or their plan is, they have a certain amount of time every day where they're in a small group with that dyslexic therapist. So we're doing small group, one-on-one instruction. And what we do is we learn where that child is and we start teaching them from where they are. So we don't expect anyone to know what anybody else knows. We work with every child from where they are.
Excellent. That sounds wonderful, actually.
Thank you.
I went to school originally my degree is in history, but when I was actually in college, I was an education major with, history, but an education major. So the goal at that point was to be a teacher. And I remember I had I don't know what you call it, when you go out to the schools and kind of do like, not student teaching, but your practicals or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. Getting old, folks. That was 30 something years ago. But I remember I had a little fella named Andre that they assigned to me. And they were like, well, Andre, he's struggling to read and, blah, blah, blah. And at the time, first of all, one of the things I discovered is reading, see Dick run and see Jane jump is not everybody's cup of tea. If it's, in other words, what I'm saying is if the stuff is boring to you, it's kind of, sometimes you might not be interested in reading it. Because one of the first things I asked Andre, I was like, well, so what do you like? What are you interested in? And he said snakes. So I said, well, let's go to the library and get a book on snakes. So that's what we did. So it was a one-on-one thing, and we went, and he wasn't the best reader, but he didn't seem to be as bad as they were saying, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I say all that to say, now that so dyslexia, I don't think I had ever heard that term back in those days. But I wonder now, did he have a touch of that, or a lot of it, or who knows?
And it's very possible. Like you said, about 20% of people, and in the state of Texas, 80+% of people there in the Texas criminal justice system are functionally illiterate. And a lot of what that tells us is there are a lot of good people that were never diagnosed and never had that opportunity to learn how to read. Mm-hmm. And so, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make this a better city and give more people the opportunity to learn, because, if you don't know how to read, it's really hard to get a job. Right. And provide for your family. Right.
It's almost as though you're reading my questions. And that was that was literally the next question was talk to us about, well, they call it the school to prison pipeline, I guess. And
so we're working in a non-for-profit that I founded, United Neighborhood Outreach, which also did the Heart for the Holidays. Yes. We're working with some people from Tech and on developing a plan to go into juvenile in the prison and diagnose people and help them to learn to read. So when they come out, we can help them be successful in finding a job and moving forward.
Interesting. Would that program, would that be something that would be available to returning citizens or people that have just recently come home from prison?
Yes, absolutely. So we're in the process of developing that at this time.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what, I'll say it here on air, so it's in stone now. Well, I have a friend that runs a place called Kingdom Towers. Have you heard of that?
I have.
Okay, so he has a lot of it. It's a lot of people call it a halfway house. That is not what it is. It's transitional housing. Steve doesn't use the term halfway house, and that's not what it is. But they offer a lot of different programs and classes at Kingdom Towers. So, saying it on air, we'll try to facilitate a meeting if y'all haven't already met.
That would be wonderful.
And get that set up, because
we would love that.
I would love to see that too. We go into prisons here in Texas. I say I go occasionally. That's their mission. They go every weekend. They're in a prison somewhere in Texas. And they're doing they go door to door to the people that can't come out of their cells. They pray with them. They read them the Bible. They give them some materials, write to them.
What an amazing outreach!
Yeah, it is amazing. And so I guess it was. Well, we've got somebody with a nice system coming by. I don't know if y'all can hear that on the. They had cars drive by with the booming system, LL Cool J. So in this prison ministry, the last time I was there, and really every time I've gone, I've looked at some of the gentlemen that are behind bars there, and I don't want to sound negative or any kind of way, but you could look at them and tell, like, I bet they would have difficulty reading. And even in behind bars in the prison, I found myself wondering, like, is that the case? And then you think about dyslexia and all that. So, man, this is a great thing that you guys are about to set up. Please keep me in the loop on that, and I'll give you Steve's number.
That's wonderful. Thank you.
Get done with this, because that's what you got to have, man. You got to have these local, heartfelt, mission-driven solutions. You can't just be all. It can't be everybody else. It can't be somebody else's problem. You got to have people that say, "No, that's what we do." And we got a couple of them in studio right here. Apparently, that is what they do. Dyslexia. That is so cool. So you kind of already mentioned how to apply. Basically, just go on the website or give y'all a call.
Absolutely. Just go on and you can put your information online, and I'll reach out to you, or give us a call, or just stop by, and I'll be happy to give you a tour and sit down and talk to you and see what we can do and how we can.
Their staff is super nice. I mean, we recently delivered a food order, and oh my gosh, everybody's so welcoming, so grateful and everything like that. So yeah, if you guys ever want to, talk to the staff, I mean, everybody's super helpful. So
well, thank you. And I will say they didn't just deliver a food order for their 10 days of give back. They fed our whole staff, all of our teachers, which is huge. We work with children with learning differences and special needs, and it's a lot of work and a lot of love, and it was awesome for somebody to come and bring us lunch. It was great, Adam. Thank you.
No worries.
And that event was called 10 Days of Give Back?
Yes.
That's from Aspen Creek.
Yes.
They were doing 10 days of giving back in our community. So they gave back to a lot of organizations.
Yeah. It was actually our 10-year anniversary.
Okay.
This past, I think it was on the 16th or the 14th. But yeah, one of our little campaigns that we were doing is the 10 days of giving back. And one of the first people I had on the list was Lisa, because, we've had a pretty good partnership, up to that point. I was like, man, Lisa, what can we do for y'all? Like, just let us know, They kind of, talked about it a little bit, came back to us. They were like, hey, what about a staff lunch? I was like, okay. They're the first people that we put down, and we made sure that we were able to cater for them that day. So
I tell you what, Adam, going back to the Heart for the Holidays event, and you guys were out there.
Yes, sir.
And I talked to a gentleman whose name I cannot recall, but he was like a general manager or a...
Yes, VJ Gomez.
What was his name?
VJ Gomez.
VJ Gomez?
Yes.
And he mentioned that about Aspen Creek, and I see that he was not playing around. Why do y'all have such a... you think of big restaurant chains and stuff, you're like, yeah, I guess, whatever. They might be good, but you don't... in my mind, I don't say you. In my mind, I don't associate. I don't think of, I'm not going to say any names, but I don't think of a certain restaurant and go, yeah, I bet they give back to the community a lot. You just go and have dinner and you leave. But
yeah,
that seems to be a big thing with you guys. Why is that, and what other kind of initiatives do y'all have?
So, I mean, one of the kind of battles that we were facing whenever I first started in my marketing role was what can we do? What is there? And I mean, I think we were very limited on that front. We were keeping everything within the walls, and it came the idea of just, why can't we just actually go out, help the community, go to events? Why can't we just try to get out of these four walls? Because if we are going to, try to help other people while trying to also help spread our, word around as well, let's do it. And so that's why, I mean, for the large part of this last year, we've been trying to just get out there, and then luckily Lisa as well, she actually came in. I mean, yeah, you were a regular before, and she came in, she, pitched the idea to VJ. VJ got back to me. She was like, yeah, this is Lisa over here. She's wanting. And then, ever since then, I've had these kind of partnerships that we've been able to help out, in different initiatives, like, dyslexia, for instance. And, it's just kind of, been a great community thing for us. I mean, we're positioning ourselves as kind of this community kind of hub within these kind of, other restaurants, you know what I mean? So
That's pretty awesome. Does that come from the top? Is that from VJ, or is that from corporate?
Yeah,
or whose decision is that?
I mean, we talked about it as a group, and I know that VJ, he's grown up, his whole life in Lubbock. So I'm from Wichita Falls initially. So my biggest challenge at that point was to try to get familiar with all the nonprofits here and what ways we could actually help out and all these different organizations. So yeah, VJ was like, yeah, I want to do this. He actually was one of the managers at Bubba's, and he kind of garnered some aspiration about their marketing, and was like, hey, I see Aspen Creek as it is right now. We're not doing anything with the community. Let's change that. And so far we have.
Well, that's pretty impressive. Like I said, I don't typically think of restaurants in general. I don't think of them as people that care and want to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
They just seem like what they are, little restaurants, That's real cool. So Lisa, talk to us about this golf tournament coming up on March the 30th. And do you golf?
I do, but not well.
Oh, okay. How about you? You golf?
Oh, no, but we for sure are wanting to have a team out there. So
and you're going to have one.
Yeah.
So it's going to be so much fun. It's at Hillcrest Country Club.
Okay.
We have some great sponsors. Aspen Creek, of course, being our number one sponsor. They are providing lunch and dinner at no cost to our school for people. So, if you get a team, you're going to have great food, lunch and dinner. And we have all kinds of great prizes. wonderful sponsors. Again, Aspen Creek, Gandy's, United, just to mention a few. So I hope that people will come out. Coca-Cola, they're donating all kinds of drinks. I hope that people will come out, have a great day, have great food, play golf, and support our school that has so many programs. Like you said, the after-school program, like so many of our children, they come from economically disadvantaged homes. Them just being there, we know they're getting breakfast, lunch, and dinner that day at no cost to their family. And because we don't have funding for that, this golf tournament will help support that program, the after-school program, and our summer camp program.
I see.
Please reach out. We still have teams available and a couple of sponsorships.
An after-school program starting in the summer, you say?
Well, so after school is all year, but in the summer, the following week after we get out for 5 weeks, we have a free summer camp. In summer camp, we have academics in the morning, and then in the afternoon, we have fun programs like robotics, cooking, gardening, book club. Where we are, we're able to walk to the library.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Every year we partner with Buddy Holly, and our kids get to go to symphony, and we really utilize that downtown area and all those partnerships.
Approximately how many students do you guys have?
Right now we have about 160.
Okay. And how many students should you have if you had everybody that needed to be there?
Well,
Do you think? Guesstimate.
We would love to have, a 200. We may expand at some point. Our charter, I think, is 500. So we would love to have as many students at some point as we can help. I mean, we don't want to turn anybody away. So, as we grow, we'll grow. And so, yeah.
Please give me a 30-second elevator speech about Condra School. Get people, if you were in the elevator with somebody and you needed to convince them.
Well, if your child is having difficulties reading, or even if they would just benefit from being in a smaller group, we have smaller classes. Our classrooms, many of them have up to 3 instructors in the classroom, and we are broken down in tables of like 5 or 6, giving that small group instruction. And the difference is, your child's not going to get lost in the mix there, because we know exactly where your child is. And like I said, we're going to meet them where they are, and we're going to help them grow from there. We're going to build their self-confidence, and we're going to give them what they need when they leave there to go out and be successful.
So I'm going to shoot a question out to both of y'all. Adam, take it first. What has been one of the most fulfilling or pleasurable things that you've been fulfilling is the word, one of the most fulfilling things you've been involved with on the charity side of things?
So it's actually a weird question for me, because I looked at the state that we were before our LSM program, and I was looking at it, I was like, okay, why aren't we doing the bare minimum? Because I just feel like, helping out our community is the bare minimum. But the most fulfilling thing has been actually going out to nonprofits. It was after our Gifts That Give Back a gift card donation drive, where we actually dropped off donations to our nonprofit friends. And I actually had Cassie, who is actually a new person on our LSM team. I had her for a little ride along. We were going out, dropping off these donations, and you should have saw her face. I mean, even she was surprised about how much we did kind of behind the scenes. I mean, she was a server at this point before she knew everything, and then she saw her eyes just kind of widened about how much we can actually help out in the community. And we're getting all these tours and all these facilities, and you just see what impact a simple meal can have, what impact just having a helping hand can actually do. So seeing her face and just kind of made me realize, I was like, man, okay, we're doing something here.
Right.
So
right. Lisa, what are some of the kind of along the same veins? Give me a couple of Condra's biggest and best success stories.
Oh, wow. It's a lot. I cannot tell you how many parents have cried in my office and said this didn't just make a difference in my child's life. This made a difference for our whole family, because a child going to school, not being identified as dyslexic, and, they feel like they're not smart, and, they're depressed, and that carries on sometimes in behaviors and things at school, not wanting to go to school. And when they come to us and we identify them and they start getting services, their self-confidence builds. And like you said, it really changes the dynamic of the whole family. And what a lot of people don't realize is people that are dyslexic, they most often have average or above average IQ. They're very, very smart. They're big picture thinkers and creative thinkers and very artistic, and and many times smarter than the average population. And so what we need to do is we need to find those children and bring them in and let them know, hey, you're smart. Just because you don't learn the way your friends learned, you're really, really smart, and you're going to be able to do great things in this world.
So just kind of circling back to where we started, kind of talked about what dyslexia is and treatment or teaching plans and stuff like that. So do I have the understanding it correct that it's basically when you see the letters rearranged in a different way than what they actually are, or is there more to it than that?
There's a lot more to it. Like I said, it's a neurodevelopmental difference, and so it's the way that the brain develops differently in the areas where you're reading or processing language. And so the dyslexic therapist it's really retraining the brain so that you can learn to read. But we have those amazing therapists. They're just waiting to help people's children learn to read. Yeah.
And y'all, did we say it was free? I think we said that a couple times.
It is free.
It is free. That's amazing.
You have to emphasize it's free.
Yeah, we place emphasis on the word free. So if your child is struggling in school, if you have tried a few things and you don't seem to be resolving the issue, there still seems to be something, I would say go by the Condra School for Dyslexia Success. It's downtown 9th Street. I don't know the exact address off the top of my head.
1421, right by the Civic Center. It's the white building with all the pretty colors on it.
Yep. Got the little robin, I think, on the...
Is that a robin?
Cardinal. Yeah, it sure is, because it's red.
Yeah.
Got the little cardinal on there. I tell you what, if I even vaguely or remotely suspected that any of my kids had an issue, I'd be right there when they open. I'd be standing out there waiting for them. So I encourage you to get on down to the Condra School if you need to, or if you suspect you might need to. Do you guys, are you looking for any help or anything like that? Do you need any?
We're always looking for wonderful people that would love to help our children. Please reach out. If you are a special ed teacher, we're looking for a social worker right now, licensed social worker. If you're interested, look us up, give us a call. My number is 432-202-7477. Call me, text me. We'd love to talk to you.
Well, that sounds good, Lisa. And Adam, thank y'all for coming on to the FocusLBK show. And I hope and pray that this show today and this message reaches the ears and the knowledge, the cognizance of whoever needs to see it, because that's just something that bugs me, that there's something out there that, I mean, like you said, 20% of the people have it. And if I read a stat or saw a stat somewhere, it was talking about that school to prison pipeline. They were saying, if you cannot read at grade level by 3rd grade, I forget the percentage, but you're basically on your way to prison. I hate to say it like that, but that's essentially what the stat was saying to me. And that cannot be. And the Condra School here in Lubbock is one of those things that could help turn that tide, stem that tide. So give them a call if you need them, or if you suspect you might need them, check them out. And again, thank you, LBK, for tuning in to the FocusLBK show. We'll talk to y'all next time. All right. Peace.